Greetings and good morning, everybody, and welcome to another 6-Minute Daily. That's right, it is Monday, September the 1st, and you know what? It is also a holiday, a day where people don't work. Happy Labor Day, everybody. And to those of you internationally, we wish you had one of these at the same time. We also wish you had, a way to let your government know that they're doing the wrong thing, because a lot of you are up and at them telling the government that they super suck lately. And you know what? You're right. You're right. The oppression is substantial right now. And a lot of countries around the world, Japan, Australia, the UK, many others are lashing out and fighting back. And you know what? That's all you can do. This is the age of petty tyrants. And from Canada to Australia to our friends in the British Isles, I'm sorry. I would like to say something like First and Second Amendment, but I think you guys know. America will rise to the occasion if asked or required. I'm certain of it. But for now, hang your flags. Hang them high. And I want to say thank you to Just a Dutchie for, just being amazing. You are the first that I see in the comment section and the first to give a super duper chat. We'll get to that in a second. I want to say thank you to Juliet for being a great wrench, despite being under huge amounts of oppression. We got Georgia Peach out there. Good to see you, Georgia Peach. And Just a Dutchie, thank you for the 5 Culture Casino memberships. Amazing stuff. Much appreciated. You have no idea. And if I could say gifty, like I normally do, I would. My voice is bad. Apparently recording 9 videos is not a good job when you follow it up doing like 3 or 4 other ones. I think I got the videos for the week done though. So there's that. Man, we've got limited time, so I need to shush it and just say hi to people like Jill, who's out there wrenching away. We've got Extreme Meme in the house and many others as well. Looks like Snortopoopas is here, our favorite polar bar. And a real quickie that just popped in, and we'll get to these other supers in a second. But Mr. Riffley for 5 Culture Casino Cash says, keep up the good work. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for being here today. Once again, thank you to Just a Dutchie, which I think is awesome, and all the 5 memberships that were provided. We want to say hey to Walter Tomaszewski, dropping $1.99. So fine. Saying thanks for putting up with me. And my bad puns. I love the bad puns and all the other humor you bring to the channel, so nothing to apologize for. But we've got Josiah Robinson, Ms. Pick Cafe, Crazy White Boy, Dr. Jill Powers, and many, many more. So thank you on the green machine for those of you out there participating there. Let's see, who else is out there? I didn't see Weatherman, so I hope he's not overtaken by a headache and or a kidney stone. Those are no fun. We got our good friend and incredibly generous man, Roland the Wretched, for 20 Culture Casino bucks, saying, on this Labor Day, I think Culture should remember all those hardworking Asian women that wax our bodies by committing to the 50K body wax stream. No, thank you. No better way to say thank you to these underappreciated folks. You're a lunatic, but I love you. All right, folks, 6 minutes actually starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6-Minute Daily. If you are watching at an alternate time, remember hashtag replay gang down in the comments section below. Let's talk about Frank Grillo on the DCU having their stuff together. They're real secure in the handle they have on what's happening, and the MCU is an absolute fly by the seat of your pants nightmare. Is anybody surprised? No. Frank's been in a lot of stuff, if you remember. Great character actor, and he kind of describes what's actually the truth of the situation, at least for now. Now, Gunn definitely does have control over the things he cares about, but I feel like he doesn't care about enough, or the fact that people maybe want something that's a little more solid in the shape of the DCU. We'll see as time goes on, but Superman still didn't open to what I would call profitability. And that's a kind of a theme with today's show because, you got SNL having a quote-unquote bloodbath. Well, Variety tries to knock that down. We talked about it over the weekend about what was going on there, and everybody's seemingly leaving. You know, you had Emil Joachim, Devin Walker, Michael Longfellow, Heidi Gardner, and while that's all the, the wokies that seem to be leaving. I don't think that was the intention, and I imagine we'll get some staffing up throughout the season, but we could possibly have more firings because they were fired. In fact, if you look at this exodus, Marcelo Hernandez, Bowen Yang, Chloe Feynman are all reacting to the cast exodus, and I don't care what spin you put on it, Variety. This is probably the truth, is these people are booted, and for good reason. Speaking of things that have no reason, we've got summer ending with $3.67 billion. Like I told you, not going to make $4 billion. And that's strange that our friends over at ComScore would make a huge error, but that $4 billion projection would have required good movies. We didn't have that. We had Fantastic Four, and we had, a lower underperforming Superman. Everything else that made money in the box office was kind of a surprise to people. F1 and everything else, but I don't know. Maybe movies are dead. Speaking of dead things, Weapons isn't. In fact, it jumped up over to number 1 again for the fourth week out of 5, and Jaws came in number 2. That's right. A 50-year-old film beat the pants off of every other newcomer. That's wild, isn't it? I think so. I also think that the summer box office was clobbered by domestic revenue barely matching last year and international revenue in the trash. It has nothing to do with we hate America politics. It has to do with the fact that we hate American garbage films situation. Yeah. And I don't know. Even with inflation and increasing ticket prices, those dollars barely kept up with the previous year. PBS, NPR stations are struggling because maybe they were getting a little more money from the government than they let on. Probably all those NGOs, which need to be completely investigated. Every NGO that we operate with should be well known what they're doing and how much they wasted and how much they pay in administrative costs, which is the salaries for all the corrupt people out there. Speaking of which, the Fed is losing its independence. It could affect Americans' everyday lives. Well, not really. I mean, in a positive way. We will be less controlled by the globalists. That's good, right? A lost boy was wandering on a monorail track at Hershey Park. He got up there himself somehow, and another parkgoer had to rescue him because park staff didn't even notice this kid. We've got Trump trying to axe the affordable housing grant. That's a good plan because, well, it's given to people who aren't these two. Let's just put it that way. And likely are, not even citizens. Let's not get into that. Let's just talk about the fact that there are certain things that, I'm going to be okay if they go away. China's factory activity contracts, actually, in August, despite extension of the trade truce, and I fear that will be happening going forward. And I don't mind the uncertainty and the fact that it's primarily affecting China. I just wish Canada would figure it out because my Canadian friends are suffering because of the very poor and globalist government. Stop replacing a globalist with a globalist. I really want you to learn that. That's all I have to say. Trump is cutting 500 plus jobs at the Voice of America. It's about time. We only need like 4 or 5 voices and just the ability to rebroadcast America everywhere. We got California lawmakers reaching a deal with Uber and Lyft that would allow drivers to unionize. And, well, California was also exposed for misusing funds for education and the fact that some students don't even exist. You heard it right. And finally, the bear story of the day. So snort, pay attention. Biologists are beginning to capture grizzly bears for research in Yellowstone National Park. Well, that, and they keep attacking people. But here's a video. Probably want to watch it. All of the areas where work is being conducted will have major access points marked with bright color warning signs, the park said. Here we go. Here's the video, folks. 20 seconds of this 40-second video with everybody taking pictures of the grizzlies. You think it's a good idea to get that close? I don't know. These things can eat your face pretty fast. They move quicker than you. I have never seen so many ladies' gardening hats. I'm not even sure that's a lady. That's wild. Anyway, we'll get to these super chats that we missed along the way. And yeah, it was fun. I like bears, though. You guys like bears? Anyway. Let's move over to bonus time, which we will have some time today to do. And I want to say thank you. And there we go. All right. Let's see. We got as far as rolling, and we got Mr. Riffley. Let's get Dragon Queen. Let's grab Dragon Queen's amazing super duper chat. Who I actually been following to make sure I don't miss the video she's putting together. Zombie. Zombie Pro has more friends for Wednesday. Cool. Yeah. And I've been checking in on your videos. I like your interesting factoids that you lead off with. And Tony Piacente gets superific with 5 more Culture Casino memberships. By the way, guys, memberships are incredible. I appreciate the fact that you guys use them. We do have, I think this Tuesday, we have another movie coming up for a movie night you're not going to want to miss. This one will be open to all members. So hopefully you join us Tuesday evening. Those of you in the UK, that'll be probably the middle of the night, but it's worth it. And I hope you do choose to watch. Thank you, Tony Piacente, and everybody else out there. It is much appreciated. I want to say a special thank you to the mom who's been here for 6 months. Americans are fed up with garbage Hollywood movies. My friend, you could not be more correct. People just aren't going to the theaters anymore, and I don't blame them. Do you? Do you think that people just should suck it up and go see bad movies? I don't. I really don't. I think that's a terrible waste of your money at a time when we kind of need to protect our money, I would say. And there's that. I'm going mad. I tell you, mad. Let me close that window. There are a lot of strange things happening in the background. It's stuff that's not being reported by AP or anything else. We had Rudy Giuliani in a car crash, I think, yesterday, and he's recovering quickly. There's been, because of the letting in the third world, we now have fecal contamination at beaches. Yeah, I'm blaming it. Yeah. We have a lot of people doing that kind of thing in public. California was the place where the American system just begins to break down and expose the ills and evils of socialism. They are so corrupt. They don't have, the people in school they claim are in school. It has been an interesting and full weekend of news. And Gollum says In-N-Out is out of California. That's right. Never thought I would see that happen. They followed me to Tennessee. That's right. It seems like all things wonderful are moving to Tennessee. I'm going to become a volunteer. I don't know about you guys. I am looking forward to the day that I can actually relocate. Very excited for it. And again, California education fraud includes scams involving fake student financial aid. That's your money, remember? And they were trying to get money that way by scamming it off the government and having it written off. Remember, they were trying to pay off student debt. How much of that debt's fraudulent, do you think? I'd say a lot of it at this point. You have fake student identities, duplicate information, stealing aid from community college. You got charter schools, all kinds of problems in California. There are 6 community colleges that, as far back as 2021, we're trying to identify the scams that were being perpetrated on them. It got even worse. It's even worse today in 2025. So, but legislators have been looking at California community college fraud for a long time. In fact, once the gig was up, and I believe that Doge helped with some of that, they had to go and do an audit. We'll see what happens. Because the state audit actually confirmed massive fraud even at a charter school, Twin Rivers Charter School. And it's not the only one. Lots and lots of stuff like that. Lots of fraudulent test scores, too. Insane. So, do we really need the government to provide state education if it's basically all fraud? Another way to steal money from you and I through our tax dollars? I don't know about that. Wild stuff, my friends. Wild indeed. But yeah, it's great to see Gollum out there in the green machine. It's great to see all of you, to be fair. And I appreciate that you are here. Also, like I said, if you have a member chat, you're free to use it. That's just like a super chat. Truly, truly. Just a Dutchie says, Wokies. Hang on. Wokies. I thought you said Wookiees. Now, the only thing I can think of is Wokey. Woke Wookie. Okay. Text green, game over. That's right. The green game over emoji. Love it. I gotta get new emojis up there. I'm slacking on both of the platforms that allow that. I think they do them over there on X too, but I don't think you can do your own. What else is happening? Mark Daly's here, says, but I was assured by the best people, top men, that tax money was a very small portion of PBS. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie, lie. By the way, that's one of the reasons why I really love Assassin's Creed Black Flag is because of the shanties. I collect all the shanties as soon as I can. I think it's amazing. But anyway, I'm weird. But no, of course, there's tons of fraud. Tons and tons of fraud through NGOs. NGOs are at probably a good 95% of them are corrupt pieces of garbage and should be eliminated. In fact, we should strictly limit NGOs and we should audit charities. I know that sounds uncharitable, but we should. We should have a better handle off of the fraud that's being conducted by our very own government. Oftentimes, specific part of our government, half of the government. But we should. And we should never allow for ourselves to be restricted in any way by our government outside of living within the laws, and we have plenty. That's about it. And I think all laws and decrees and everything else should be reviewed every 5 years. And if they are not renewed by the appropriate body, they are eliminated. Because we've got a lot of dead laws on the books. There are still blue laws on the books, things like that. And we need to revisit whether or not religion is going to be allowed to rule in the United States. We can't allow for any kind of theocracy, can we? I mean, outside of the fact that everything around this country was, religiously moralized at some point in time, we can't allow for, a theocracy at all. And there are some parts of this country that are looking to do that very thing. Once again, thank you to our two big gifties. By the way, the memberships mean a lot to creators, especially me. First of all, it means a lot of people can share in the extras. A lot of people will get to see once or twice a week a video. Members see videos, about 2 of them per week, early, somewhere between 6, 12, and 24 hours early compared to other people that are subscribed to the channel. So if you're a member, that's a perk. You have the monthly members stream, which is coming up this Saturday. We had high rollers for the high roller members last Saturday, and those two Saturdays mean the world to me because I get to hang out with you guys. So just keep that in mind. We got another super duper chat from our good friend Archer Merchant. How's it going, my friend? I'm going to put a heart emoji on that, and you say da 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 da. I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, there we go. If you'd ever like to have a discussion on Disney/Union stuff in California, let me know. I can give some in-depth explanations and objectivity for fairness. Sounds great, Archer. I will take you up on that, my friend. I have some insight into the studio side of things, pretty good. But no, I would love some objective reality inserted into that. Um, I also have some unique insight into Imagineering and some other stuff. So, although less so now, someday I'll explain because it was really weird. Hey, it's the Beautiful Deeple, everybody. But I just want to say thank you again to Archer Merchant for contributing and for the 5 Culture Casino cash. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about it, my friend. Fat Elvis is here. He always advises you to smash the thumb. That's the like button, everybody. If you haven't already hit the like button, do so now, please. And double check you're still subscribed while you're down there. That's what I said in the video this morning. I got another video coming up at midday and probably a third later on. I possibly could have released or could release all 9 videos today. I am not going to. First of all, I would be punished by the logarithm. And second, they wouldn't get a lot of views. I am being fully suppressed at this point, friends. So if you make comments and videos, I'm going to likely respond. And the more comments I get, the better the videos will do. And I need you right now, folks. I need you. So watch at least 2 videos today if you can. And if you're looking for videos to watch previously from the last 2 weeks, I have a playlist that is actually most of these are now attached to that says this week's videos. So I've got to start deleting some of the older ones off of there. But as videos are released, you should be seeing them in that playlist. So make sure you subscribe to that playlist as well. What else we got out there? We got follow the Bradleys fun. You got to follow Ron and the family. Ron's good people, and he makes great stuff. And yeah, you get to have fun. It's super fun. I like that kind of fun. Theme park fun. We also should not give special rights and privileges to any group. I agree with that. Everything should be equal under the law, and no one should be held exempt or free of things. That includes Congress, kids. They don't have the same healthcare plan as you do. No, everybody should be aware and have available when they get older, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever they happen to have as far as a supplement. But Congress shouldn't have better. Sorry, you're not special. We should not hold you in an elevated position. We've got all kinds of things that happen for members of the government that don't happen for regular people. And maybe if we scaled back the special treatment, those people would come down to reality, especially the fact that they're not held or seemingly not held accountable for their crimes, which there are many, including insider trading, which we've got to get that law passed. Hey, Rogue Thinkers in the house. Great to see you, my friend. I got a question from the lady herself, Ms. Pick Cafe, who is amazing, saying, did you see at Griffin Fact of the Day? I did not. Give me just a moment. Let me grab it because I like when Griffin does history. Why am I not seeing Griffin? Oh, there's Griffin. GRY. Let me grab it. Here it is. Thank you, Griffin. That's right. On September 1st of 1878, the world's first female telephone operator, Emma Nutt, with 2 T's, started for the Edwin Holmes Telephone Dispatch Company in Boston. In 65 years, the majority would be women. That's correct. And yeah, that's a great piece of history there. Thank you, Griffin. Griffin does amazing research for us all, and I appreciate it. We got another, holy cow, our good friend, Scott Westbrook. Scotty gifts 5 Culture Casino memberships. We are almost to 20, and I'm going to hit the button if we get to 20. And thank you, Scott, for the 5 gifted memberships. This means, as I said before, the world to us creators, especially when we get them in big bunches because, well, it helps with overall revenue, which indicates to YouTube that they want another 30% of whatever you have to offer. Unfortunately, we call it the YouTube or the Google tax. It's more rapacious than even the Apple tax, believe it or not. But yeah, And but not only that, it really does give 5 additional people or more, depending upon what you donate, or even one at a time. It doesn't matter to me. It gives those people access to memberships, which I think is super duper, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's more than 30%. Well, I know. That's what I said. It's more rapacious than even the Apple tax. Yeah. I even used the proper words. Fancy. Those are some serious college testing words there. Vocabulary. Hey, Canadian Spider-Man's in the house. Hello, my friend. Hello. Could you please get rid of your communist socialist leadership up there? Please, Eddie. And Tony Piacetti dropped 5 Culture Casino cash to say, I love the box office video from this morning. Everyone should watch it. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. That one I had fun with. You probably could tell that I was just da-da-da-da-da. Plus, I was using my real radio voice. That's right. You, too, should buy Shinola. Anyway, I'm not as good at that as Tom, but Tom actually did it for a lot of years. I only did it for a little years. Speaking of little years, yeah, Cam Phantom Nerd in here. He's been here for years and years and years and years and years. That's right. One of the very first members of the channel. Good to see you, Captain. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And then Lightning Sketch Productions is here, one of our animation experts in the house, saying, is there a chance Hexed will use Meander to be 2D and 3D? I don't really know. But for those of you who haven't heard yet, and I had planned to talk about this, it disappeared from the timeline somehow. There's a new Disney animated movie on the way called Hex. That's right. More witches, more magic, more stuff we indicated to Disney we really weren't interested in. I wonder if there'll be a coven of lesbian space witches that we'll be able to follow in Hex, because I really didn't pay attention once I learned the nature of what it was. Speaking of Hexed, Assassin's Creed is supposed to have some lesbian space witch game as well. Has anybody seen that yet? Anyway, I don't understand that fascination. They're trying to truly normalize an awful lot of things through very unsubtle means, let's say. Let's see if I can find anything else that is suitable to talk about. For a temporary setback, the Trump administration was told by an activist judge they could no longer impose tariffs that'll be promptly shot down. The Supreme Court is getting very, very tired of activist judges. And one of the attorneys that I follow, and I pay attention to the videos they produce, has indicated that the Supreme Court has basically told activist judges, stop it. Once we've made a ruling, it is final. Stop it. It cannot be interpreted again. Stop it. What we need to do is get rid of activist judges, the people who are trying to halt America's progress and only move forward on globalist issues. We need to, if the administration were smart, they would deem the WEF a terrorist organization. And I just said a word on YouTube that they're not fond of. So just keep in mind that there's a path forward. It's just kind of extreme, but maybe it needs to be done. So as far as the answer to your question, my friend, Lightning Sketch Productions, I don't know. I'd have to reach out to a couple of people, but I don't know. Looks like Archer Merchant says, sounds good. Thank you. Contributing another $2 at the same time, saying mine is more on park ride side experiences. Yeah. I used to be pretty good friends with a lead. And some other folks. But I'd love to hear it. I really would. You may have run into a wall when you talk to me about union things, but hey, at least I may learn something. So that kind of a conversation I love to have for most people, just so you know. Let's see, how far in are we? 31 minutes? We'll see. What else is happening? Lombardi, what's up? Greetings. Follow the Bradley's fun, he says. And hey, Blackie, good to see you. Says I can't tell from Shinola, or so or so. Papa used to say. There you go. Between a pile of dung and Shinola. Good to see you all. You guys, I love it. Look at all these amazing people popping in. We got a checkmate out there. Yes, another disappointing blowout at the box office. Wasn't it terrible? Look, the accepted minimum performance at the box office should be and usually is about $100 million. We have not been able to do that in a while. In fact, I think we're now 3 or maybe 4 weekends in a row where we haven't crossed $100 million for the weekend at the box office. Now, mind you, today is a Monday, and not as many people have Labor Day off as used to. I mean, government workers do, of course, but most people don't. There are, I think, government agencies that should observe Labor Day. And I would like to point out the folks at the Postal Service, especially the ones that are out there making sure you get your mail, should be allowed to have those extra days off. But otherwise, I don't get it. I also don't get why banks take Labor Day off. I mean, talk about the cushiest job in the world, knowing several bank employees now. It's like, come on now. Come on. I don't take the day off. I'm here with you guys, which I guess, is it really a job if you love what you do? I don't know. I get compensated for it. I got great friends out there, a whole list of them this morning, and people that are making other people happy by giving them, what would you say? Membership. So they won't miss Tuesday's movie. That's right. Looking forward to Tuesday's movie. I don't think we're watching Running Man, but we're watching something, and I'll have all the advertisements up later today for tomorrow's movie. And let's take a look at this because it just dropped in the chat from Pilgrim Media for 2 Culture Casino cash. Why are we picking on lowly Shinola shoe polish? I don't know. I don't know. I thought it would be fun. Speaking of fun, there's a lot of payola going around. That's a conversation that I'll have in a video later this week. In fact, I can give you a breakdown. We're going to be covering the complete collapse of superhero films. We're going to talk a little bit. There's going to be a video specifically on the Fantastic Four. We've got more on Marvel's disintegration. We have a conversation going to happen about films that may not get made. I talked about one of them on Saturday, and I go into depth on that here very quickly. More and more of these videos now, I've got to start making very quickly and successively, and maybe get out more than 2 videos a day, maybe 3, 4, 5. 5 is going to be the max, though, because after that, you just don't get it. YouTube doesn't even bother with notifications, which is why you need to subscribe to the channel and also subscribe to that playlist, this week's videos. If you watch 2 videos of mine in a row, it really helps and it keeps you subscribed to the channel. You don't get accidentally unsubscribed, believe it or not. And that's straight from YouTube. So there's that. Polymuse is here. We love her and her little minion. It's good to see you, dear. I hope you're doing well. Be safe. And thank you for doing what you're doing. We got Marcelo Lopez out there. I haven't seen Staccato in a few da's. Hope Staccato's doing well. Always worry about people when they're not here for a bit. But Marcelo Lopez says hexed. Oh yeah. And I feel all right. Cynthia, good morning, dear. Let's see. We got a lot of folks rolling through the door. OC's here. There you go. There's from the belly of the beast, the one, the only OC Dobbins. Hey, that looks remarkably like a stage door. I wonder why. It's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing okay. We haven't had a chance to chat. Hopefully you show up at the member stream on Saturday. It'd be great to hear from you. Follow the Bradley's Fund says, unfortunately, there are 2 activist judges on the Supreme Court. Yeah, but they haven't really been winning. And by the way, Trump's only had 2 losses, and he's got a remarkable winning record on the emergency appeals. So, and what I love about the emergency appeals is they just happen. And that Ketanji unqualified auto pen judge, I don't know if she's legal. I mean, I seriously, I don't know if she was legally nominated. I don't think so. I think you have to actually have some consideration, to be fair. And I don't think there was any consideration because I don't think they had Potato Head sign anything. It's pretty clear, actually. It's all auto pen. And if that's the case, you can't do that. You can do that. You can use the auto pen on proclamations and worthless bologna sausage. But you really can't use it for the force of law. It was not written into the Constitution. So that's one of the reasons why I think Trump signs everything in front of cameras. He signed the bill? He signed the executive order. He signed whatever. I think that's the only way to make sure. That's right. Big H says, remember, culture time is accelerating, and they have to get their modern, yes. Yeah. Saddam and Hussein. Ethics in the mainstream or fail. Well, they don't have any ethics, Big H. So there's that. Georgia Peach, Disney. Wow. Yeah. I got, like I said, I think I have 11 of the 12 videos now at the point where they just need edited and thumbnailed. And I already have most of the thumbnails done. So we could get them out successively. It'd be pretty wild. Mark Daly, I'm sick of activist judges. So am I. I think I got this from Pilgrim Media. Yeah, I did. Why are we picking on Shinola? That's right. Yep, I got it. I want to say thank you to those of you who were here this morning. I got Maverick out there saying, can Marvel make money without cameos, member berries, or nostalgia bait? No, they can't. Look, let's talk about this. There is no creative use of material anymore. Some of the stuff that we're getting is cobbled together newer Marvel garbage. And so it built into the framework of that and Feige's female-friendly framework. That's all we've got. If they're really claiming from the inside, which made it to the outside, that they lost the boy audience, well, they know the problem. The problem is the feminization of all of the material that they have. Why would you rush to material that basically destroyed the comics industry? Why would you rush to that? Especially the storylines that are put together by the people like King and many others who are neo-Marxists, socialists, garbage heads, designed to destroy. I don't understand. That's just me. But no, Marvel's incapable of creatively adapting anything from the previous eras. I mean, and really, that's kind of why you got such a garbage Fantastic Four with such a terrible ending. We're going to throw this villain down the road. That's dumb. Galactus is an Avengers level event, not a Fantastic Four level event in terms of movies. Yes, I know there are many confrontations with a lot of the big bosses by the Fantastic Four, but you want to save your big ones for the big time. And believe it or not, because of how unorganized Marvel was to begin with, the seat of the pants, as we talked about in the earlier part of the 6 Minute Daily, they really didn't have a plan for Thanos. The reason they had any plan at all after Guardians of the Galaxy was Gunn. So at least you got to give Gunn some credit for actually laying out a game plan for what eventually, I guess, became known as all the phases. But it wasn't Feige. Feige gets too much credit in an extreme way. And because of that, and because he took the credit for things others have done, um, the outside world looked at him, as a magnificent leader of the studio. When in all honesty, without Ike Perlmutter and many other people on the inside, including people that left now and have been gone for a bit and went to consult for other studios. Um, he's really not it. And what's funny is they kind of poked fun at that with She-Hulk. Not only were they poking fun at us, but they were poking fun at the Marvel Studio machine. You know what? And I don't blame them. I blame them for coming after the fans. But again, this is every single time we think that they're catching on, they go back to blaming the fans. You know what happens? Fans get less interested. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just ranting today. I apologize. Perhaps there's something more to discuss. Um, we get to discuss the amazing growth in the U.S. economy, 3.3% in the second quarter. I think we covered that on 6 Minute Daily last week. But other economies are collapsing. Like I keep mentioning, Germany's in rough shape, and as they're invaded by the outside world, they become less and less economically capable. They probably should revisit their thoughts on the mass invasion that they're allowing. And many other countries are now fighting back against. I mentioned towards the beginning of the show, Australia, um, the UK, Japan pushing back on the illegal immigration that's been happening and that their governments have been allowing to happen. That's when the people rise up, you should probably be listening if you're a leader. If you're a leader that's enabling that, then basically you're a traitor. True story. Let's see. What do you guys have to say? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, here's a funny thing you can take a look at. Drones are used for a lot of different things. Sometimes they're even used for entertainment, and sometimes they're used to protect animals. Believe it or not, one such project is doing that right now, and I think it's pretty cool. Let's take a look at it real quickly in the last few minutes of bonus time. Apparently, I just have that there, not the actual share. Let's fix that. Boom. Drones, believe it or not, are blasting AC/DC and Scarlett Johansson. They're helping biologists protect cattle from wolves. Interesting. So the USDA has been experimenting with drones and thermal imaging to monitor wolf movements since 2022. And we're just now hearing about it because a lot of people would have claimed waste. But for millennia, humans have tried to scare wolves away from their livestock. Most of them didn't have drones, but a team of biologists working near the California-Oregon border do. Question. You think California is going to split into, you think we're going to have greater Idaho? How far do you think it's going to go until they strip away power from the people that are anti-American? Don't know. But anyway, so they're blasting AC/DC's Thunderstruck, movie clips and live human voices at the apex predators to shoo them away from cattle in an ongoing experiment. I'm not putting up with this anymore, actor Scarlett Johansson yells in one clip from the 2019 film Marriage Story, which is awful. So I can understand the wolves avoiding that. And then with what? I can't talk to people, co-star Adam Driver shouts back. Yeah. Unfortunately, Adam was misused in this, and so was ScarJo. But ScarJo is, well, ScarJo. And she doesn't want to be a superhero anymore. but she liked the paychecks and the lawsuit settlement that she got. So not bad. Gray wolves were hunted nearly to extinction, and then they rebounded very quickly. Since their reintroduction in Idaho and Yellowstone National Park in the mid-90s, they've proliferated, there's the right way to say the word, to the point that the population in northern Rockies has been removed from the endangered species list. Yeah, it's there. A lot of these species are resilient if they have access to, a good environment for them, including hunting grounds. So there are now hundreds of wolves in Washington and Oregon, dozens more in Northern California. There's a bunch of them in my area as well. The recovering population has meant increasing conflict with ranchers. Ranchers don't like the reintroduction of wolves because, well, they go after the livestock. And this has been a battle that's been going on since probably the 90s, late 90s. I kind of remember it being part of the Clinton administration, to be fair. But gray wolves kill some 800 domesticated animals across 10 states in 2022. Why do we not have current numbers? If you've been studying them for all these years, can you answer me that question? Why don't we have current numbers? Don't know. Anyway, thought that'd be fun to point out that AC/DC and drones make a great pairing for discouraging wolves. Anywho. All right, we are headed into an entertainment avalanche from Midnight's Edge in the morning in about 35 minutes. Hopefully you'll join us over there. This stream on the YouTube side is designed to automatically send you over there. For those of you on the Green Machine, I think Ms. Pitt Cafe can deliver you on that side of things. And I'm pretty stoked to say that if you have a chance to catch Dragon Queen's new channel and some of her videos, if you have a chance to check out Ron, follow the Bradley's Fun. If you have a chance to check out any of the great creators that we have here, including Luke Corolla, or Luke, or any of the other greats that we have out there, please do so, because creators are going to save us from the doldrums that Hollywood is leaving us with. And on that note, just want to say a special thank you to Battle Bunny for being here. And imagine the Gal Gadot song. Imagine all the people living in a harmony. Anyway, sorry. I didn't start high enough on that one. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. And maybe a little wizard.